The night was cold and clear over the Nevada desert. Captain David Kim lay perfectly still, his body pressed against the rocky ground. The special camouflage suit he wore blended seamlessly with the surrounding terrain. Next to him, Lieutenant J. Park adjusted a complex piece of equipment that looked like a high-tech telescope but was far more advanced. "Movement at Grid 3, Charlie," Jay whispered, his voice barely audible. David's eyes didn't move. Years of training had taught him that even the slightest motion could give away their position. His fingers, calloused from years of handling precision rifles, remained steady on the weapon's grip. Far above them, something was wrong in the night sky. Most people would see nothing unusual. But David and Jay weren't most people. They were the U.S. Army's top long-range specialists, selected for a mission that most would consider impossible. Something was watching Earth, and they were going to find out what. 3 days earlier, strange readings had appeared on multiple military and civilian tracking systems. Satellites picked up unusual energy signatures that didn't match any known human technology. The signals were brief, almost like someone was trying to take a quick picture of Earth without being noticed. Military intelligence had been puzzled. Some argued it was a glitch. Others believed it was a new type of stealth technology from a competing nation. But David and Jay knew better. They had seen things that most people would never believe. The equipment beside Jay began to make a soft, pulsing sound. It was a device designed to detect quantum-level distortions, the kind that might be created by advanced cloaking technology. Most scientists would have called the device impossible. The U.S. military called it their secret weapon. "Target confirmed," Jay said quietly. "Quantum signature is active. They're close." David remained motionless. His mind was a computer, calculating wind speed, temperature, potential trajectories. He had made shots that seemed impossible, taking out targets from over 2 miles away, hitting targets smaller than a human head. But this was different. This was not a mission against human enemies. Something moved in the darkness. To an untrained eye, it would look like a slight shimmer in the air, like heat rising from hot asphalt. But David and Jay saw more. They saw the almost invisible outline of something technological, something that wasn't from Earth. The object, whatever it was, seemed to be scanning the landscape. Its movements were precise, mechanical. It didn't behave like anything human-made. The quantum detector beside Jay was going crazy, its lights blinking in a pattern that suggested something was actively trying to hide. "They don't know we can see them," David muttered. Jay nodded. Their mission was simple but incredibly complex. Observe, document, and if necessary, neutralize. They were the first line of defense for a planet that didn't even know it was being watched. The alien observer continued its scan, completely unaware that 2 human soldiers had locked onto its position. In the vast, dark desert, a game of cat and mouse was about to begin. And humanity was about to show that it was not a species to be underestimated. David's finger moved closer to the trigger. First contact was about to get very interesting. The alien scout team didn't know they were being watched. 5 of the most advanced soldiers from the Galactic Imperium believed they were invisible. Their suits could bend light, block heat signatures, and mask quantum-level energy. They thought they were perfect hunters. They were wrong. Commander Rill, the lead scout, moved slowly across the rocky terrain. His body was different from human bodies, taller, with longer limbs and skin that could change color like a chameleon. His eyes were twice the size of human eyes, designed to see things humans could never imagine. But right now, those eyes were about to miss something critical. David Kim watched through his scope. His breath was slow and controlled. Years of training had turned him into a human machine. Every muscle knew exactly what to do. Every breath was calculated. His spotter, Jay Park, whispered numbers and measurements. "Wind at 3 kilometers per hour. West to east," Jay said softly. "Temperature deviation in target zone. Quantum distortion at 0.02%. The alien scouts moved in a perfect formation. They thought they were silent. They thought they were invisible. But humans had been hunting other humans for centuries. Tracking invisible targets was something David and his team knew how to do. Commander Rill spoke to his team in their own language. The sounds were like clicks and soft hisses. They believed they were discussing their mission, a simple reconnaissance of the planet's military capabilities. They wanted to understand if humans were worth conquering or if they should be quickly eliminated. Jay's equipment continued to track the quantum signatures. Each alien scout was putting out a unique energy pattern. To most technology, they would be invisible. But the U.S. military had been working on something special. Target locked, Jay whispered. David's finger moved closer to the trigger. His rifle was custom built. It wasn't just a weapon. It was a piece of art. Each part had been designed, tested, and refined. The barrel was made from a special alloy that could handle extreme temperatures. The scope could see things most people would think impossible. The first shot rang out. It was so fast that the alien scouts didn't even hear it coming. Commander Rill's head suddenly exploded. One moment he was there, the next moment he was gone. The other scouts didn't even have time to react. Boom, boom, boom. 3 more shots. 3 more alien scouts dropped. Their advanced suits meant nothing against a bullet that was calculated with inhuman precision. The last scout tried to move, tried to use his quantum camouflage. But David was faster. The bullet hit him before he could even think about running. 5 elite Galactic Imperium scouts. 5 perfect shots. Less than 10 seconds. Ja looked at the thermal imaging. All targets neutralized, he said simply. David didn't say anything. He was already breaking down the rifle, preparing to move. They had a report to write. And the Galactic Imperium was about to learn a very important lesson about Earth. Humans were not to be underestimated. As they packed up their gear, neither David nor Jay knew that thousands of light years away, the Galactic Imperium was about to receive some very bad news. The simple reconnaissance mission had just become something much, much bigger. The military base was buzzing with activity. Scientists and soldiers moved quickly, examining the equipment left behind by the alien scouts. Captain David Kim stood in the center of the main research lab, watching as experts picked apart every piece of technology. "This is impossible," Dr. Emily Rodriguez said, holding up a small device that looked like a mix between a computer chip and a living organism. "The quantum resonance is unlike anything we've ever seen." J. Park carefully placed the recovered alien communication device under a high-powered microscope. "Not impossible," he corrected. "Just advanced." The alien technology was strange. Some pieces seemed to breathe. Others changed color when touched. One device shifted its shape like liquid metal, adapting to the touch of different researchers. It was technology so advanced that it looked like magic. But David knew magic was just science people didn't understand yet. The military had set up a special team. The best minds from different branches were brought together. Physicists, computer experts, material scientists, and combat specialists all worked side by side. Their goal was simple: understand the alien technology before the aliens came back. "Look at this," a young technician called out. He was pointing at a piece of alien equipment that seemed to be generating its own energy. "It's creating power from nothing." Dr. Rodriguez shook her head. "Not from nothing. From quantum entanglement. They found a way to pull energy directly from quantum fluctuations." David watched carefully. He might be a sniper, but he understood technology. Every piece of equipment told a story. And this story was about to get interesting. The alien communication device suddenly came to life. Instead of making a sound, it projected a holographic image. The room went quiet. The image showed a face, clearly alien, but with emotions that looked almost human. Anger, surprise, confusion. "They're coming," Jay said quietly. The hologram showed a massive fleet of ships, hundreds of vessels, each one looking like a deadly weapon. They were preparing to come to Earth. The message was clear. The scouts that David and Jay had killed were just the beginning. "We need to be ready," David told the room. The scientists worked faster. They began to understand how the alien technology worked. Their quantum detectors were reverse engineered. The camouflage technology was studied. Every piece of equipment was taken apart and rebuilt. What the aliens didn't know was that humans were the best at adapting. Humans could take something completely foreign and make it their own in days. Hours turned into days. The research continued nonstop. Military bases around the world were put on high alert. Satellites were repositioned. Weapons were prepared. The young technician who had first noticed the energy generation approached David. "Sir," he said, "we think we can build something similar, using their own technology against them." David nodded. Adaptation was humanity's greatest weapon. Outside the research facility, the sky looked normal. But something had changed. Earth was no longer just watching. Earth was preparing to fight back. And the Galactic Imperium had no idea what was coming. The Galactic Imperium's main command ship hung in space like a massive dark spider. Admiral Seong Choi, the lead alien commander, was not happy. His long fingers, each topped with a sharp metallic nail, tapped angrily on the holographic control panel. "Explain again," he said to his senior officers. The report was simple and brutal. 5 of the best scout teams, the most advanced soldiers in the Imperium, had been completely destroyed. Not wounded, not captured, destroyed by a single planet that the Imperium had barely noticed before. The main screen showed the last moments of the scout team. The video was crystal clear. 5 elite soldiers killed in less than 10 seconds. No warning, no chance to fight back. "Impossible," whispered one of the junior officers. The admiral's eyes narrowed. They were large and dark, with extra lenses that could see different types of light. Right now, those eyes were filled with something close to fear. But aliens like him didn't feel fear. They felt something else. "Calculation. Prepare the second wave," Admiral Choi said quietly. His junior officers looked shocked. The second wave wasn't just another scout team. It was a full combat group. Hundreds of the most advanced warriors the Imperium had ever created. They were designed to crush entire planetary rebellions in hours. Back on Earth, things were changing fast. David Kim stood in a new kind of training facility. Around him, soldiers practiced with captured alien technology. They wore special suits that could bend light, weapons that could shoot around corners, communication devices that worked faster than anything humans had ever created. "Target practice," Jay Park called out. Massive holographic images appeared. They looked like the alien scouts from the first encounter. But these weren't just targets. These were exact replicas, created from the technology they had captured. The soldiers moved differently now, more confident. They had seen the alien technology. They had taken it apart. They understood it. Jay watched a group of soldiers use quantum camouflage techniques that would have been impossible just weeks ago. A soldier would disappear completely, then reappear somewhere else. The room was filled with impossible movement. "They're learning fast," David said. Satellites around Earth were being upgraded. New defense systems were being built. Every military base was becoming a research center. Governments that used to fight each other were now working together. The Galactic Imperium didn't know it, but they had made a massive mistake. They had woken up something dangerous: humanity. In space, Admiral Choi's massive fleet began to move. Hundreds of ships, each one a weapon of unimaginable power. They thought they were coming to teach a lesson, to show a young species its place in the galaxy. They had no idea what was waiting for them. On Earth, David Kim checked his rifle. It looked similar to his old weapon, but now it was something else. Enhanced, improved, part human, part alien. Ready for anything. The war was about to begin, and humanity was going to show the galaxy exactly who they were. Space looked different now. Where there used to be darkness, there were now lines of energy, shields, weapons, quantum signals dancing between Earth's defenses and the alien fleet. David Kim sat in a special control room. It wasn't like old military centers. This was something new. Half science lab, half fighting platform. Screens everywhere showed different views of the battle. Not just visual screens. Quantum screens that could see things normal eyes couldn't. "They're changing tactics," J. Park said quietly. The alien fleet had stopped trying to destroy Earth directly. Now they were testing, probing, trying to understand how human defenses worked. Each attack was like a question. Each defense was an answer. Dr. Emily Rodriguez moved between computers. Her hands flew across special keyboards that looked more like musical instruments than traditional input devices. "Their communication network is complex," she muttered, "but not unbreakable." Suddenly, the main screen changed. A massive alien ship, bigger than anything humans had ever seen, moved into view. It wasn't attacking. It was watching. Admiral Karen Williams leaned forward. "They want to communicate," she said. The communication wasn't like old radio signals. It was a quantum message. Images, feelings, thoughts that moved faster than words. The aliens were trying to understand humans, to figure out why a small planet could resist their massive fleet. David understood something the aliens didn't. Humans were different. Humans adapted. Humans fought. Jay's special quantum communication device began to pulse. It was translating the alien message. Not just words, but intentions, thoughts. The device showed what the aliens were really thinking. They were afraid. The alien fleet had never met a species like humans before. Humans didn't follow the rules of galactic warfare. Humans didn't think like other species. Humans were unpredictable. "They're trying to analyze our defense systems," Dr. Rodriguez explained. "But they can't understand them." The human defenses were a mix of everything. Captured alien technology, human creativity, quantum shields that could change faster than the aliens could attack, weapons that weren't just machines, but almost alive. David watched the screens. To him, this was like the most complex sniper battle ever. It was about prediction, about understanding your enemy before they understand you. The alien ship continued to watch, massive, silent, waiting. Earth's defenses remained perfect. Every attack was blocked. Every probe was turned back. The humans had done something impossible. They had taken alien technology and made it better. "They're calculating," Jay said, "trying to find a weakness." But humans didn't have weaknesses. Humans had solutions. Another wave of alien attacks came. Energy beams that could destroy entire cities. Quantum weapons that could tear apart molecular structures. But Earth's defenses absorbed them, broke them down, sent them back. The alien ship began to move, not attacking, retreating. David looked at Ja. They both knew something important. This was just the beginning. The galaxy had just learned something crucial about humanity. Humans were not a species to be conquered. They were a species that conquered. The room was silent. Screens showed something impossible. Humans were about to attack first. Captain David Kim stood at the center of the command center. His fingers moved across a special control panel that looked more like a living thing than a machine. Next to him, Lieutenant J. Park watched multiple quantum tracking systems. "Target locked," Jay said quietly. The plan was crazy, completely impossible, which meant it was perfectly human. They had spent weeks studying the alien fleet's communication networks, not just studying, breaking them down, understanding them. And now they were going to use that knowledge as a weapon. The first strike would not be with traditional weapons. It would be with information. Dr. Emily Rodriguez adjusted her headset. "Quantum communication channel is ready," she reported. Her fingers moved across a screen that seemed to pulse with living energy. The human weapons were nothing like traditional missiles or bombs. These were quantum-targeted systems that could move through space like living things. They could change direction, think, Adapt. Targeting primary communication hubs, David announced. The alien fleet had no idea what was coming. Massive space-based weapons began to move. They weren't just machines. They were something else. Part technology, part something new. Weapons that could think. Weapons that could hunt. The first wave hit the alien fleet's communication network. It wasn't an explosion. It was something worse. The human weapons didn't destroy. They infected. They broke down communication systems from the inside. Alien ships suddenly lost connection with each other. Their quantum communication network, their greatest strength, became their biggest weakness. Direct hit, Jay said. Chaos erupted in the alien fleet. Ships that used to move together now moved randomly. Their perfect formation broke apart. Their advanced technology turned against them. Admiral Karen Williams watched the screens. They never expected us to understand their technology so quickly, she said. The human attack was precise, clean, like the most perfect sniper shot, but happening across millions of miles of space. More waves of quantum weapons followed. Each one targeted a specific part of the alien fleet's systems. Communication networks, navigation systems, defense shields. Everything was breaking down. The alien ships tried to fight back, but they were fighting something they didn't understand. Humans had taken alien technology and made it better, faster, more adaptive. David watched the screens. To him, this was just like a long-range shooting mission. It was about understanding your target, predicting its movements, being one step ahead. Alien ships began to drift. Some exploded. Some simply stopped working. Their perfect technology became useless. They're running, Jay said. But humans weren't just going to let them run. The final wave of attacks came. Quantum weapons that could track targets across impossible distances. Weapons that could think. Weapons that could hunt. The alien fleet was breaking apart. David looked at Ja. They both understood something important. This wasn't just a battle. This was a message to the entire galaxy. Humans were here. Humans were strong. And humans would not be conquered. The massive holographic display showed the remains of the alien fleet. Broken ships, scattered debris, complete destruction. Admiral Seong Choi of the Galactic Imperium looked smaller now. His once proud body seemed to shrink. Defeat was not something his species understood. They had conquered thousands of worlds, crushed hundreds of civilizations, but humans were different. We want to talk, the alien communication system announced. The United Nations Defense Center was packed. Scientists, military leaders, government officials from every country. They all watched the same screen, waiting. Captain David Kim stood in the background. His eyes never left the holographic display. Lieutenant Jay Park was right beside him, monitoring every quantum signal. Dr. Emily Rodriguez stepped forward. She was the lead communication specialist, the person who had helped break down the alien communication systems. Her hands moved across a special interface that looked more like art than technology. Terms of communication established, she said quietly. The alien request was simple but strange. They wanted a direct meeting, not through communication systems, not through quantum signals. A real physical meeting. They're coming to Earth, Admiral Karen Williams said. Her voice was calm, controlled. The first alien diplomatic ship entered Earth's orbit. It was massive, but different from their warships. This was something else, a vessel of communication, of potential peace. David understood something important. This was not a surrender. This was a test. The landing site was carefully chosen. A neutral location. The Nevada desert where the first alien scouts had been destroyed. Flat, open, visible from multiple angles. No place to hide. Humans had learned something from the aliens. Always be prepared. Always be watching. The alien ship landed without a sound. No energy weapons. No defensive systems activated. Just a simple landing. A door opened. 3 alien representatives walked out. They looked different from the scout teams. Taller, slower, their movements were careful, calculated. David and Jay were part of the welcome team, not as fighters, but as observers, as representatives of human capability. "We wish to discuss," the lead alien representative said. Its language translated instantly through special quantum communication devices. The discussion was not what anyone expected. The aliens did not ask for mercy. They did not beg. They wanted to understand. How could a young species defeat the most advanced fleet in the galaxy? How could humans turn alien technology against them so quickly? Dr. Rodriguez asked her own questions about their technology, their history, their understanding of the universe. The negotiations were complex, but simple at the same time. The Galactic Imperium wanted to understand humans, not conquer them. Humans had proven something important. They were not a species to be controlled. "We want an exchange," the alien representative said. "Technology, knowledge." David watched carefully. This was another test. Humans would decide the terms. The desert was quiet. The sun was setting. In the background, military teams watched every movement. Quantum shields were ready. Weapons were prepared. Humanity had changed. The galaxy would never be the same. This was not an ending. This was a beginning. 5 years had passed since the first alien encounter. The world was different now. Completely different. Captain David Kim stood on the observation deck of the first human-alien collaborative space station. Outside the window, Earth looked small, beautiful, peaceful. Behind him, alien and human scientists worked together on something that would have been impossible just years ago. Lieutenant Joe Park walked up beside him. "Hard to believe," he said quietly. The galaxy had changed. Humans were no longer just a small planet. They were a major galactic power, not through conquest, but through adaptation, through understanding. The technology exchange had been incredible. Humans learned about quantum communication. Alien species learned about human creativity. It wasn't a one-way street. It was a partnership. Dr. Emily Rodriguez was working on a massive project, a new type of space drive that combined human innovation with alien quantum technology, something that could change space travel forever. "We're not just exploring space anymore," she had told David months ago. "We're understanding it." The Galactic Imperium had learned an important lesson. Humans were not a species to be conquered. They were a species to be respected. Alien ships now moved differently around human territories, with respect, with caution. Humans had proven they could defend themselves. More than defend, they could adapt. They could fight back. The first human-alien diplomatic team was preparing for a major conference. Representatives from hundreds of alien species would be there. Humans would be equal partners, not subjects, not slaves, partners. David remembered the first encounter, the alien scouts in the Nevada desert, the impossible shots, the beginning of everything. Jay's hand touched the special communication device. It was part human, part alien, a symbol of what they had achieved. The space station was a marvel. Half human design, half alien technology. Rooms that could change shape, quantum communication systems that worked faster than light, technologies that would have seemed like magic just years before. "Incoming transmission," the computer voice announced. The main screen showed Admiral Seong Choi, once an enemy, now a partner. The alien looked different, older, wiser. "The Galactic Council meets in 2 hours," he said. His translated voice was calm, respectful. Humans had done something no other species had ever done. They had forced the Galactic Imperium to change, to see them as equals. Dr. Rodriguez joined David and Jay at the observation window. "We're not just exploring space," she said. "We're changing how space is understood." The first human-alien collaborative research teams were changing everything. Medical technology that could cure diseases, energy systems that could power entire planets, Communication technologies that could connect species across impossible distances. Outside the window, a massive ship moved, part human, part alien, a symbol of what was possible. David looked at Ja. They both understood something important. This was not an ending. This was a beginning. Humanity had proven something to the galaxy. They were not just survivors. They were creators, innovators, a species that would change everything. The stars looked different now, full of possibility, full of hope. Humanity was not alone anymore, and the galaxy would never be the same.